So now the stage is set. It was intense. This man is a no good, two-timing, backstabbing son of a gun. We just going off. We about to throw hands. Fisticuffs is about to happen. This story starts off at the tail end of the 9th grade. You know, I'm a young boy, I'm young, I'm kind of preppy, but I'm still about my business, so don't get it twisted. Anyways, during this time, a lot of my friends had girlfriends. I remember my brother got one, and like a week after, one of my close friends got one. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like a fifth wheel. I felt like I was missing out on a common experience. Low-key, I started to become a hater. I was mad jealous. And because of this, I decided to ask this random girl who I had no feelings for to be my girlfriend. And I might have only met her one time at that moment. We're gonna call her Emily. I hop online and I sent her an inbox message, and yes, this was on Facebook. I know, I can hear it now. You old, somebody give him a walking stick. Mind your business. Anyways, after I sent the message, I remember I was so cocky with it. I'm like, yeah, ain't no way she gonna tell me no. I'm about to be part of the fold. I'm doing her a favor, making her be my girlfriend. A couple minutes pass, and I get a response. Hey, I am honestly flattered that you fancy me, but I don't think right now I'm ready for a relationship. I think we'd be better off just as friends. I finished reading it and I'm like, oh, okay, it is what it is. My intentions of asking her to be my girlfriend was already impure, so the rejection was probably justified. And that was that. Now, during this time, I started forming different social circles, started forming different friend groups. I remember every night without fail, a bunch of us would hop online on a group chat just to shoot the breeze. You'd have people adding their friends and other people adding their friends into the chat, but over time, you start familiarizing yourself with people in there. Not really important to the story, but I just thought I'd mention. So on this one night, we're wrapping up the group chat, everybody's dropping off, and it's just me and two other girls from another school. And I decide to ask them this odd question. I was like, yo, do y'all know any girls from your school that got feelings for you, boy? Because you know I'm that dude. I'm suave with it. I'm nice. I'm just looking for somebody to hold me down. I was cocky with it. And I got no response. As a matter of fact, they ignored me. And I took that personal. So I threw a tantrum. I'm like, hey, hello, listen to me. I'm over here. Please answer my question. I'm asking you a question. Stop ignoring me. I'm just trying to find somebody to hold me down, but y'all hating because y'all don't want to tell me. You know what? I think y'all jealous. That's why you don't want to tell me. You know what? It's whatever. Y'all gonna make me crash out. Even after all of that, they just kept ignoring me. They were not paying me no mind. I was exhausted. And I kind of came off a little bit desperate. So I told myself, let me just excuse myself out of this conversation. Let me take the L. So I was about to log off the computer. Then all of a sudden, I get a message notification. It was from one of the girls left on that group chat. We're gonna call her Ivy. So she hits me up and she says, I actually know somebody who may fancy you. I'm like, oh, really? Who? At this point, I'm just bitter because I just felt disrespected. And she was like, well, you see, the thing is, you're actually talking to the person right now because I like you. So this came out of left field for me because I never gave her an inkling of me being remotely interested in her because I wasn't. So when she told me that, I was genuinely confused because I don't even understand how we got here. So I respond by saying, oh, you do? Oh, well, I mean, yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's dope. I honestly had no idea how to respond to that. So she gets a little bit of an attitude and she was like, well, isn't this the part you asked me to be your girlfriend? I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Well, do you want to be my girlfriend? And she was like, oh, yes, how cute. So at last, I finally got a girlfriend. Maybe through the means I didn't want, but at the same time through the means I did want. And as far as the relationship went, I mean, it was pretty much as basic as it could be for a bunch of 14-year-olds. I mean, we hung out, we got to know each other better, and you know, we just enjoyed each other's company for the most part. But it was short-lived. She tells me on one random day, we need to talk. She said that in a very somber tone. She then proceeds to drop the bomb on me, telling me that she's going to be switching schools. She was going to be going to boarding school, which was out of town, actually out of the state. And we weren't going to have any way to communicate because she wasn't allowed to have her phone with her while she's over there. She'd only be back in town if there was like a holiday or like a short break. So she tells me all of this at the top of the summer break, and honestly, because of all of that, we had to break up. We just had to. We were young. Ain't nobody trying to do no long distance. I mean, what you think this is? So we break up, but we're still in constant communication throughout the summer because, I mean, we still had feelings for each other. Fast forward, the summer's over, she leaves for boarding school, and life is just lifing as it is. So fast forward again, now it is December, it is Christmas break, and Ivy is back in town. And though we were broken up, she did come to visit me one day, and I remember we had this conversation. We were trying to see and decipher if we could actually do this long distance thing, because again, we still had feelings for each other. So I'm like, we gotta hold it down for each other. Let's see if we can hold it down, because we gotta hold it down. Hold it down. Now this is where we introduced another character to this story, and we're gonna call him Cam. Now Cam was my dog, that was my guy, that was like my dude. To this day, we cool. There was this one day he hits me up randomly telling me to break up with Ivy because, he's trying to, shoot his shot. Now, this is how Kim and I usually communicated. We'd be like, yo, cuff your chick before I come take her from you or something like that. So we be yapping. So I'm yapping back. I'm like, you stupid. You lucky you ain't got a girl because I'm going to take off your hands. You better proceed with caution because, I'm out here. I'm just talking my stuff, just reciprocating the energy. And he's like, yeah, you right. I just be joking. I just got to keep you on your toes. It's just crazy out here in these streets. So I didn't think too much of that conversation because, like I said, that's how we talk. Fast forward, it is the night before Ivy leaves back for boarding school, and we hop on a call, just exchanging last minute pleasantries and just talking because obviously I'm not gonna talk to her for like a couple of months. We talking about how we gonna miss each other and whatever, all that cutesy stuff, but don't get it twisted, I'm still thug out here, I'm still horned. And during the conversation, she says, oh, by the way, your friend Cam asked me out. I'm like, what? What do you mean he asked you out? She was like, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I was genuinely confused because Cam and I never took it this far. She's like, don't worry. Obviously, I said, no, I'm with you. I got feelings for you. I don't even know Cam like that. So I just thought I should let you know because that's your friend. Okay. So I just let that be what it was. Honestly, I just chucked it up to Cam just being an idiot and trying to just OD on everything. But here's another thing she told me, which I really found interesting. She tells me that when I asked Emily to be my girlfriend a couple of months back, Emily actually confided in her for some advice because she was actually considering saying yes to be my girlfriend. But Ivy wasn't having it. She tells Emily to tell me no because she was plotting. She was plotting on the boy. I ain't gonna lie, I was flattered because I'm like, yo, she out here sabotaging potential relationships because she knew what she wanted. I was flattered. But anyway, eventually the conversation ends and obviously she leaves for school. Fast forward about 2 weeks. School's back in session for me. I remember walking into class on the first day and I see Cam with like a bunch of my classmates and they just talking and he's the center of the conversation. Didn't really know what it was about. I didn't really care, didn't think too much of it. So I go to my seat, waiting on first period to begin, all miserable and stuff. And all of a sudden, one of my classmates pops out of nowhere and starts asking me, why is Cam saying he's going out with Ivy? Isn't Ivy your girl? I respond saying, what the heck are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Like, obviously Ivy is my girl. Like, you're just talking. What are you talking about? Like, stop playing with me. He's like, nah, I ain't playing. I'm literally listening over there. And he's saying that he and Ivy are in a relationship. I'm like, okay, I've given this dude the benefit of the doubt. He's actually starting to piss me off. So I step to Cam and I tell him like, yo, let me talk to you out in the hallway. So now the stage is set. It was intense. Just Cam and I in the hallway. Who knew what was about to happen? You could cut the tension with a knife. And I ain't gonna lie, I start going in. I start checking him. I start questioning him, interrogating him like we are in a courtroom. I'm pleading my case to the jury. Like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you look at the evidence, it clearly points that this man is a no good, two-timing, backstabbing son of a gun who should be thrown in the slammer for a long time. It was intense. We're arguing, calling each other all kinds of names, calling our mamas all kind of names. We just going off. We about to throw hands. Fisticuffs is about to happen. Nah, I'm just playing. Honestly, we had a very civil conversation. I was like, yo, why are you telling people you going out with Ivy? I mean, the joke is over. Like, let's not be doing this. That's my girl. And he's like, bruh, I'm not joking. Ivy and I are actually in a relationship. I asked her out before she went back to school and she said yes. Well, she told me she told you no. And he's like, well, she told me yes. And honestly, we weren't going to resolve that situation over there because, it was my word against his. So we weren't going to know until Ivy got back in town. So we just went our separate ways. We weren't really at odds, but it was disappointing in my mind. But I didn't really look at it that way at the time because, I was 14 years old. Nothing was that deep to me. So fast forward a couple months, Ivy's back for like a midterm break or something. Before I could even call her, she calls me. And I'm excited. I'm like, hey, yo, Ma, what's good with you? I missed you. Hey, how are you? I have something to tell you. I'm like, what you gotta tell me, girl? You know I love you. You know you can tell me anything, shawty. And she's like, yeah. So I haven't been completely honest with you. Remember when I told you Cam asked me out and I told him no? Yeah, that wasn't exactly what I said. I just didn't want you to be mad, but I did say yes. Girl, you fine. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? So you telling me you're in a relationship with Cam? She's like, yes, I'm so sorry. Boy, did I have egg on my face. I felt so stupid. I felt like I was led astray, bamboozled, humiliated, run amok. But the only good thing that came out of this was when I confronted Cam, it was just both of us in the hallway. So nobody really knew about all of this, so at least I could keep my rep intact. So after all of this, you'd probably think that Cam and I would have an issue with one another, but we didn't. We were actually still cool. Well, that was until one random day in class. I'm just poking fun at him. That's what we usually do, joke at each other and all of that. And he got really upset. He swipes my hand off and he said, if you put your hands on me one more time, I'ma f you up. I was so confused. I was like, if anybody should be mad, it should be me, not you. I mean, considering everything that just happened. So because of pride on my part, I was like, you know what? Cool. You want to be on that level? I'ma meet you there. He could have just been having a bad day. I don't know. But because of that, we did not speak for like 8 months. And I ain't gonna lie, there were some awkward moments in those 8 months. I mean, we could be walking past each other in the hallway and not say a word to each other. I remember this one time I went to a restaurant and him and Ivy were there. And obviously we didn't say a word to each other. I walked past them, I got my food, and I left. Some of our friends started picking up on it and they tried to force us to be cool, which made it even more awkward. But because we were both prideful, we were like, nah, we ain't even rocking with each other like that. So that was the energy for the most part. So fast forward, it is the summer break of 2010 and I'm about to leave the country for vacation. And I remember telling myself I didn't want to hop on a plane, harboring hatred in my heart because you never know when your last day is gonna be. So I remember texting one of my friends to text Cam and tell Cam that I didn't have a problem with him and I apologize if I pissed him off or whatever. And I'm always down to have a conversation whenever he wants to. Now, I could have texted myself and told him all of that, but you know, I still had a little bit of pride in me, so that's why I had to do it through a mutual friend. Anyways, I hop on the plane, I land, and I get a text from Cam, and he says, yo, what's up, bro? Missed you. And the rest is history. Cam and I were back cool. As far as he and Ivy went, that was none of my business at that point. I'm not gonna lie, to this day, I don't really know what set Cam off on that specific day. We never really addressed it, but I mean, there's all water under the bridge. We still cool to this day. And I guess the moral of the story is, sometimes conflict could be resolved with just having a simple conversation. It just takes one person to just reach out, and that's it. And another moral of the story is, if you are searching for a relationship in a very unorthodox way, be careful of what you wish for, because that same unorthodox way that got you in a relationship would be the same unorthodox way that gets you out of a relationship. So just a word to the wise. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.